welcome back to another episode of the Sweet Cherry Podcast. I am Cherry, and you are welcome to come along on this journey with me. I just got a total brain fart. I didn't know what to say. If you are new to my channel, welcome. This is a Sweet Cherry Podcast, and basically, I just talk about everything, any little thing, life, relationships, whatever piques my interest. And if you are returning, welcome back. So glad you are back, and love what I do here. So, welcome back. You can also stream Sweet Cherry Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, what else? iHeartRadio. I am totally just going blank. Pandora Radio, and that's just to name a few. Obviously, I had trouble naming those, so just search up Sweet Cherry Podcast, and you can find this around. And also you can also support us at Sweet Cherry Podcast on Patreon.com, and over there you will find exclusive episodes that you don't find anywhere else, plus behind the scene footage, photos, and things of this sort. So make sure you go on over there and show me some love. I appreciate it all. It all goes back to you guys and the content that I am able to give you guys. So yeah, with that being said, let's get into this. Okay. I've talked to my friends and whatnot. A lot of my episodes come from conversation with friends or things that I hear on the radio or TV that can be real life, like things that we can really come across in life. So I was talking and I heard we were talking about how girls, is it okay for women to make the first move if they're interested in somebody? So, because back in the days, that was really not the thing. That was very taboo. It was the man that always made the first move, and that's just how it used to be. But I think now, in this day and age, I think it's different. I think it's okay. Well, I thought it was okay back then also, but I think that it's okay for women to make the first move if they're interested in somebody, and they, maybe the other person doesn't know that you're interested in them. Then they don't get the hints. They don't get the subtle, glances. They're just like, it just goes over their head. But I think it's definitely okay and cool for a woman to make the first move if she's interested in someone. There's no shame in it. Like if a woman can go after what she wants in life, then she can go after the guy that she likes in life. And that's fine. I know it could be like a bit intimidating at times to like make the first move because you want the guy to approach you or something like that. But we're in a day and age where we could step up, and it's fine. Guys find it attractive and sexy, and it's cool. It's nothing that's like, oh no, like why is this girl coming up to me? Like a guy is never gonna be like feeling like that. I think it becomes even more attractive at times, like, damn, like she knows what she wants. So, here she is making that move, and I think that that's awesome. Myself personally, I've never uh made the first move like that. Like, say like introduce myself or give my phone number or anything like that. Usually I just I think my form is just like the googly eye, and the flirtatious smiles and glances, and cross my fingers that the guy picks it up, which they have. That's usually I haven't had a guy that hasn't picked up on the sign of interest. So but I've never actually like gone up to a guy and said, "Oh, hi, I'm such and such, how are you doing?" Or like try to really pick up a guy in that sort of way. I've always just thrown hints, and if they approached, they approached. Um but would I? If I was single, I don't know. I'm shy. So I don't know if I would actually be able to actually go up to somebody and be like, "Oh, hi, I'm such and such, and I saw you from across the room." Thought you were really, a nice looking guy and wanted to get to know you, blah blah blah. Blah. I've never actually done anything like that. But I don't know if I could or would, just because of the fact that I'm like shy in that sense. Like if someone comes up to me, I can do the whole conversation thing. Like that's fine. I don't get shy in that aspect. But I would get shy if I was the one that had to kind of, make that first move and engage them in the conversation. Um because that's just how I am. I just feel really embarrassed. And there's nothing embarrassing about it at all. But just me personally, I just get like like cringy. I don't know why. I can't I don't see myself doing it. Um and I've never done it before. So usually like the guys get the hints, the flirtation, the flirtatious smiles and glances and like things like that. So I haven't had like um to really approach somebody in that sense. So but if I had the balls to do it, I would definitely I think I could do it if I had, if I had the guts to do it. I wouldn't, I don't think there would be anything wrong with it, like, approaching someone and saying like, "Oh, like, hi, you know, like I said, I think you're nice looking and thought I'd come over here and chat you up." I'm laughing now because I can just picture myself trying to do something like that. But inside I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. Um Maybe if I had some like liquor courage, then I could probably do something like that. Um but what I have done in a w- one time there was a group of guys. I was at a club and there was a group of guys that came, and I knew, I had seen them around before in that club because that was a frequent place that I would visit or hang out at. And one of the guys in the group was trying to talk to me, and the group of guys was trying to talk to me, and I was like, like I did tell him like, I'm not interested in you. I'm interested in your friend. At this time, I already had a few drinks, so it was like just slipping out. Like I was like, "Oh, that's nice," and thank you for being. I didn't say thank you, but I was like, "That's nice." Like that's cool that you're interested in me, but I'm really interested in your friend. And they were like, "Oh, okay," and they called them over, and they were like, "Oh, she want you," but the drinks were flowing, and so it was a different situation where there was a lot of people, there's alcohol involved, and you know, so it's kind of a different vibe than when you're just not in that type of setting. Um, but then, like when I rejected the guy and said that I liked his friend, the other friends were like, "Oh," so it was like a little embarrassing, I guess, for the guy, but I didn't mean anything mean by it, and I wasn't mean about it either. But I wasn't at that point. I wasn't gonna let you know um the guy waste his time trying to talk to me because I was interested in the friend, one of the other guys that was in the group. So you know, um, and that was as close to me ever trying to be like, "Oh, hi, how are you?" You know, because even though I mentioned it to the friends, he's the one that went and said, "Oh, wait, she's interested in you," so and then he came and we started conversation and that like that, but that was like the closest to me ever just trying to kick it to someone, um rather than them try to talk to me. um and we did date for a little while after that, and it was just like, whatever it was. But sometimes people hesitate, in making the first move or whatever. And, they don't know what your reaction is going to be. So, they sit back, and it's totally fine to be like, you know what? They're taking too long. Let me just do it myself. So, but yeah, that was about the only time that I got like as close to, you know, telling someone, or, trying to talk to someone before they started conversation with me. And we did, exchange those googly glances and stuff like that. But at first, initially nothing came about it. But when one of the other guys in the group tried to talk to me, I was just like, no, I don't, I'm not going to waste his time or mine because this is not going to go anywhere. Like, no interest at all. I was interested in the friend or whatever. So, it was what it was. But I definitely don't feel like there's anything wrong with the girl making the first move, you know. I think, I don't know if it's like an equal amount where guys and girls kind of let each other know that they're interested in one another. Most girls, I think, do like the glances and the flirtatious smiles and things like that to try to let the guy know that they're interested. Um, and then guys are pretty more bold, that they'll like come up to you and just be like, "What's up? Hi, how are you?" Or what's up, ma? How you doing? Or can I buy you a drink? Um, and these are all things that I've heard. So yes, there are guys that do those things. Not all men will come up to you and be like, "Oh, hello, I'm such and such," and introduce themselves and carry on in that manner. A lot of guys will just, be like, "What's up? What's up, ma? How you doing? You look good. Can I get your number? Excuse me, miss. Can I get your number? Is this seat taken? Do you mind if I buy you a drink?" I mean, well, that was like back in the days when I used to go out and hang out. But as far like the now, I have no idea what goes on out there. Um, I don't know how guys pick up. They probably text now. Sending a tweet, or because everybody is on the phone nowadays. So it's like, I was the other day I was out, and I looked around, and everybody in the restaurant was on their phone. And I was like, wow, like nobody's in conversation with the people that they're with. They're all on their phone. And yeah, they'll glance, they look at their phone and they put it down, and then they go back, then they'll talk with the people that they're with or whatever. But even so, like the phone was still out. They were like talking, or they'll respond, laughing, but they're still on their phone scrolling. And I'm like, damn, like I don't know. I don't know how this day and age people date and or uh you know find a partner. Back when I was younger and in that atmosphere, we went out. You had to go out. We went out to find somebody. And it was a good time. Like, like I don't know how it is now. Like everybody's just out with their cell phones and interested in taking pictures, and which is cool because it's always a memory that you'll have, but it's also good to live in the moment, and have that moment that you can remember, because you miss out on things when you're busy on your phone. Even when you're trying to take a picture or recording of what's going on around you, you miss the moments because you're too busy, like making sure you're pressing record or making sure you look good, and then the angles and this and that, and like you miss the moments. um so I can't imagine what it's like to be dating now. Like how how are people approaching each other and things like that. um and I think in one of my past episodes I was talking with Fox, and we were talking about like how we hadn't been flirted with for a long time. Not that we were looking to be flirted with, but we used to men were more approach or approaching not approaching, but they were more into approaching us. And not just us. I'm just gonna say men were more interested in approaching women, and I've noticed that it's not really like that much anymore. Like, and not for lack of that we're gotten older or that we're not good looking or anything like that. It's just different now. Before, it was so easy for guys to try to talk to a girl and pick up a girl. um and now it's just different. It's very different, due to social media, due to phones, due to people also being sensitive, but that's another topic. um so it was definitely a different time, which I think would lead more now to women approaching men more now, um because the guys may fear that maybe they're not interested, or they don't know how to approach the girl, or whatever the case may be. um and women just became more emboldened and taking charge, which is cool, which is super cool. But for me, I definitely think that I prefer a guy picking me up rather than me trying to pick a guy up, as long as I'm giving them the go ahead. And you know I mean, a guy can tell when a girl is interested in them, you know and if you pick it up and you come and approach me, that's how I would prefer it to be. Because obviously I'm dropping hints, and maybe I'm not telling you outright, but I'm sure that the hints that I'm dropping are like, she's into me. you know? So definitely I would prefer it like that. But I don't know if I'd ever actually try to pick up somebody on my own. Like, hi, how are you? I'm such and such, and try to mac like that. I don't know. It just feels like I will be too shy and embarrassed to do it. I probably laugh at myself. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's great, and I love to watch other people do it, but I don't know if I do it. But that's just me. That is just me. But I think it's totally cool that a woman has that amount of confidence in herself that she doesn't need to wait for the guy to make the first move, you know? So if you got it and you want to do it, go ahead, get your man. There's nothing wrong with it. More power to you. I give y'all credit. Um but yeah, so that's my take on it. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys prefer a woman that comes up to you and expresses their attraction to you, or would you prefer to do it first? Do you find it sexy? Do you find it intimidating? Because I'm sure there's guys that find it intimidating as well. um Let me know in the comments. What do you think? Do you prefer to take the lead, or you'd appreciate a woman that's going to go after what she wants in a guy? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear. I want to hear all about it. And that is it for this episode, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Again, you were watching the Sweet Cherry Podcast. I am Cherry. And like I said earlier, you could stream us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, YouTube. And in the YouTube, in the description, you can find all the links to my social media. So go ahead and follow me around. I am everywhere. Search up Sweet Cherry Podcast. And don't forget to show us some support right on Patreon. Patreon.com/Sweet Cherry. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Later.